All right, so how to model and export an object from Cinema 4D to Houdini to Substance Painter. All right, so I have my seat right here. So let me do an NA, well, yeah, NB, so I can see everything. Press 9, live selection. So we see this right here. Everything was grouped. So this, 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 this. And then we have our seat right here. And then we have this block under here. And then we have our vents. And everything's labeled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this to Houdini for UVs, right? We could use the Cinema 4D UVs, but let me look at this real quick. So we could do all this here, but I personally, I like Houdini's UV tools a lot better. So we're going to do that in that program. So let's go back to startup. We have everything here. It's right here, right? So everything's grouped. We have everything here. So I'm going to go over here to file, say, no, wait. Export selected object as, and then we're going to go to FBX, all right? And you see this menu come up, ignore all that stuff. Ignore all that, and then just go to OK. Then I'll go over here, and I'm going to save it out. All right, so I'm going to say Metro Seat. Underscore with this. I just put mine in the beginning, right? My Metro Seat, right? So it's in my folder. Now I'm going to open up Houdini, all right? So go over here, and I'll show you where to get this program and everything later. The way this program works, it works kind of like any other 3D program, right? We have an X, Y, and Z right here. I'm just going to show you the bare basics just to get this object in here to use this. And let me go to build. Is it? All right. Yeah. So it should look like this on default. It operates the same way. Alt right click, alt middle click. Alt middle click, alt right click. So we have a zoom, pan, and everything else. Only thing is that there's no list here. It works with nodes. All right. So I'm going to import my object in here, right? So to do this, I'm going to do right click, and I'm going to type in GEO, geometry, right? Now we have this over here. This is called our network tab. And these work as containers, right? So this is going to be a container that I import my object into. And these are the parameters, like where it's at in the world. You have translate, X, Y, Z, rotate. All this stuff is important, but not so important for this right here, because we're just going to be UVing. So after this, I have this node right here, and this is a display flag. So it's like, can you see it? Can you not? Nothing's in it right now. So if I double click and go inside, and also this works like a folder, so I can go backwards. So this is the main folder, and then or container, however you want to visualize it. And then we can go forward. It just kind of remembers. It's kind of like it's basically a folder. And I can go inside by pressing I, or I could just double click. And if I want to go outside, I can just click on this and, click on this button or click on the arrow. So go in here. Now I'm going to type, I'm going to file. And to bring up these nodes, you either type in tab or you right click, right? And you get this menu right here. So I'm just going to press in tab. And then I think somebody did this add. I can also go here, go to add, and I can go to file node. And then I can go to, where's it at? Sorry, go on my desktop and find this. All right, so I just went to my desktop folder. I go to last modified, and I go to my metro seat, right? So it's right here. Now you can't see it because it's really big. And if you want to like, what do you call it? In Cinema 4D, if we can't see our object, we press in, I think, S or O. So this, you just do F, right? So F, now it's in here, right? So the same geometry you made is in here right now. Now I'm gonna go to right click and go to UV layout. Oh, not UV layout, I'm sorry. UV unwrap. And then I'll click on this. Well, actually, I'll do this first, sorry. So I have my object right here. Now I want to separate these pieces. So I can press, go over here to this arrow tool and select this. Right. And right now it's selecting polygons, but I want to select the entire object. So to do that, I'll click on this right here. No, wait, sorry. This. Let me deselect this. So this little thing that looks like a square, a waffle, I guess, whatever. And then I'm going to go over here to this gear. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to go to attributes. And I'm going to go to name. Now I can just select this entire object because we named them, right? So I'll select this, hold down shift, select this, select this, select this. So I have all the seats, right? Now I'm gonna, my mouse is in the viewport, right? It's not over here, it's over here in this viewport. And I'm gonna press tab, then I'm gonna type in split, split, right? Remember these nodes, like I said, it works like a chain. So we have our first metro seat chair right here, and then we have the split. And what it did is it split it out this right here. We still have the other geometry because it's gonna give it to us on one or the other. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna type in null, null. What a null is like, it's a dummy object. It doesn't mean anything. It's kind of like a group with nothing in it. We're just gonna use this for organization. So I'm gonna double click on the name, type in cushion, C-U-S-I-O-N, right? So this is our cushion. Now I'm gonna copy this null, or I can make another one. So this is like the output, input. So like I said, we're going, and it works like a chain, you know, it's like progression. So base, split, cushion. Now I'm gonna right click, null, or I can copy this one, and you can copy it one of two ways. And this is what I often do. I'll just hold down Alt and left click and drag and make another one. And then I'll just type in, I don't know, whatever I want, blah, 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 right? It doesn't matter. This is just for organization. So I'll just connect this. And if you take this line right here, if you want to cut it ever, there's two ways to do it, or three ways. You can take your null and you can shake it off, and then it's like disconnected. I'm gonna do Control Z, and Control Z works just like it does in any other program. I can hold down the letter Y and I can cut it with this little scissor thing, Control Z, or I can just select it and then just press delete. So what I'm going to do now is connect this to the rest of the object. And what do we have, right? We have the rest of the seat. Right. So now what I'm going to do is, like I said, I don't need to name it. I'm going to get the rest, right? So I'm going to press, I can get this arrow again, or I can press the letter S. And remember, we already clicked on this menu right here, clicked on the gear and went to name. So we already have that. It was already set up for that because it's the last thing we did. Now I'm going to select this seat, click on it, and press tab, split, enter. And now we have this again, right? Remember, this doesn't matter. And if we ever want to turn it off or on, you know, this is just a label. So just always remember that nulls do absolutely nothing. All right. And I already made this over here, or I can copy this or whatever. So anyway, I'll just take this over here, or I'll just make a new one just to get you all in the habit of doing it. So right click, null. Let me extend this window over here. and I'm moving in this window the same way. I'm using my middle mouse button. I don't need to press Alt. I can, but just middle mouse button by itself will let you pan in the window. If you ever want to zoom out or scroll in, you could use the wheel, or you can right click and zoom in and out of this window as well. So I'll take this, attach it to that, and click on this. And I'll name this seat back underscore back. All right. Cool. All right. So we have a cushion. We have a seat back. And then I'll just alt left click, and I'll just copy this just to do it. And remember, this doesn't matter at all. It doesn't be anything. I'm just doing this to show you that it can be anything. Sorry to reiterate so much, but I think it's important to get you started off right. Okay, cool. So we have this, and your seat back, you have a cushion, and here's the rest of the chair. So I'll do the same thing. I can press S or click on the arrow. Let's press S this time. S, the arrow's there. Remember, this menu's already there and it's already been selected. So now I just click on this. Now press Tab, SPLIT, enter. And then I could also right click on this, press null, because these are outputs. So whatever you right click, if you right click in the viewport, it'll just make the null. And if you right click on the little output, it'll attach it and make it. So I have this right here, and let's say, I don't know, vent underscore box. And then I'll make another null over here. So right click null. And name this, because this is the rest of it. So I don't know, vent. I don't know, vent slat, just name it, whatever. All this other stuff, I'm not using it, so I'll just delete it just for the sake of organization. So we see what we're done, right? So we made this, and we have our groups. So cushion, seat back, vent box, vent slats. All right. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to give these groups, I want to put these in groups, and this will help us later on because it'll kind of label it when we take it into Substance Painter. So I'll right click and I'll type in group. And then I'll put this group node inside it right here, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and there's two ways to do this. I can go to this group name and I can say cushion underscore GRP. So now this right here has a group. And to tell that it has a group, you just middle mouse click on it and go to I. And then it says cushion group. All right, so we know it has a group, and there's 22,000 primitives in it. Anyway, it just tells you the information. And I'll do the same thing with this. Only this time I'll right click and I'll type in group. Remember, it puts it in, it automatically connects it down the chain when you do that, or you could just make it separately. So do the same thing here. Only thing with this one, you can do something right now that says group 2, because this is already saying group 1, it's just copying the node. But I can also just name this, and I can say seat back GRP. And this is just how this program works. And if I want to just have the name here and have it transferred to here, I just press in $sign and OS, right? So now what this did, and if I middle mouse button, click on this and click on it again, just toggle back and forth. This OS is a code that's saying, all right, this is the name of this node, and we're just going to take this name and put it here. And now the group name is basically taken from here. And if I middle mouse click, it says seatback group. So there's two ways to do it. As long as it knows like the group is basically here. So for this one, I just typed it in. And then for this one, I did this thing where I put an OS where it named the group off of the name of the label of this. Hope that made sense. And I'm going to do this 2 more times, right? For these, right click group, put it in here. Remember, I can do it 2 different ways. It's say event box underscore GRP. And I can do my $ OS. And if I want to go faster, I can just alt left click and just copy this. Now this is vent box group instead of vent slats. I could just type in vent. Right. So now this is its own group. If I middle mouse click, vent slats group. So cool. We have all these things. They're all in a group. And I can keep them where they're at, or I can bring them down here and have them all on the same level. It's however you want to organize it, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now start the UV process. So not right now, we're in our 3D view, but I want to see this in a UV view, right? So if I type in spacebar 1, spacebar 2, which basically this is our like 4-way view, spacebar 3. Well, I can't see my object. I have to press spacebar F. So spacebar 1, F. You know, that might be a little bit too much for y'all right now. So let me just go over here and I'll go to 2 views side by side. So now I have, this is my UV view. I mean, my 3D view, and we're gonna make one of these our UV view. Now me, because I use Maya, usually these 2 are flipped. So if I just go right here, I can go to set view. Yeah, you can also do this too. So let's go to perspective viewport. So this is our perspective one. And then we'll click on this and I'll go to set view and we'll go to UV viewport. So now we have our UV screen. If we want to move this, make it bigger or smaller. Yeah. So look, we have our cushion. Here's our seat back. It's just ghosting the cushion. And also something else, when the node is highlighted, we have our parameters, right? But then when we have our node selected, let's say on this right here, or you can click on the eyeball, this is what we see. So we have these parameters right here, and then I can see it at the same time and do whatever I want to do. Or I can have this selected, but viewing this and mess with these. So whatever has highlighted, you see the parameters, basically. Okay, so we have all these and we can see everything here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and type in merge. So we have this merge. And I'm going to connect all of these to this merge. So I can connect them all like this. And it's perfectly fine. Now I'm going to, I can do it like that and that's fine. But then there's another way to do it where you can just select them all and then select one and they all come together. All right. So now what we're seeing is like the UVs, which are the letters on here. And some of them are stretched like on the back and they're warped and they're looking not too good, but now we're gonna lay them out. So I'm gonna right click and type in UV unwrap, connect it to this and click on here. Now what this did is it split out all of my objects onto this UV, right? And there's a lot of objects, not like the cereal box where there's just 6 of them. It's just this. And if they're too close or too far, I mean, I like to kind of scale this down a little bit because I just like a little bit of separation between my UVs. That's looking good. And I'll do right click and do UV layout. So now connect this to this. And I'll click on this now, right? Now everything is in this UV screen, so we could take this into whatever program, and then we could say, all right, well, select. And yeah, I could take this in any program, and whatever image I put on this will project onto here. But I want to make this look a little bit better, right? So what I'm gonna do is, and if I slide this down, I'll go right here where it says islands, by island symmetry, and go to by island position in 3D. We're over here where it says maximum, I change it to fixed. And then where it says pack into rectangles, I'm gonna change it to UDIM tiles. All right, so you're only gonna change 3 things. And then this is how this works. You're gonna take this slider right here and you're gonna move this. Oh, and also how this works too. We have this ladder, right? If you middle mouse button clicks, you need that mouse. Right here, this moves it in increments of 0.01. If I go over here, it moves it in increments of 1. It kind of like you can go up this ladder right here and move it with big moves by 100, or you can do it by 0.001, where it's like very fine. So just in case, you know, because you're going to move this slider, and basically this is what you're going to do. You're going to move this slider right here. And right now it's at 2, right? That's as far as it goes. So I'll just click, middle mouse button click, and I'll just take it further. And you're going to keep on sliding this until these appear under this, under here, right? So right now we're all good. Everything's looking good. And then boom, it breaks, right? We see all those pieces under here, and that's not what you want. So you kind of want to move this until that happens, right? So this is bad. This is good. Bad, good. Because these, if they're, what's happening is we're growing this. Yeah, we're like scaling this up, and it gets to a point where it scales up too big, where these like faces are too big for the square. And that's why it pushes it down here and they get like really large. So you don't want that. You just wanted to do it until it gets to like there. So this is fine. This is fine. It's even fine right here, right? But I like to get as much action as I can out of this, right? Because the smaller these squares are, the more resolution we have. So this right here is perfectly fine. Now look at these UVs, right? Looking great. They're uniform squares. And everything's lovely. Okay, great. So now I'm going to, because these UVs are prepared, I'm going to take this geometry out, right? And put it into Substance Painter. So I'm going to right click, type in null. And this is just a Houdini thing. You can name it whatever you want. But usually when you want to export something out or move it somewhere else, you type in out underscore metro seat. Enter, right? And now this thing is good. Oh, and also there's one other thing you want to do. You want to right click and type in normal. And I'm sorry, there's one other thing. I don't know if it matters so much in this, but I'm just going to do it just because it's for good practice. You want to right click and type in ATTDEL, attribute delete, right? And this is just to delete whatever groups or whatever stuff that I had when it came in, because in Cinema 4D, when I first brought it in, I had it in this group and everything's labeled. So what this does is it kind of cleans everything. So if I click on this and I type in attribute delete and let's see what it is. If I middle mouse click on this, I thought it had some groups. So anyway, that attribute delete will delete some of the information that was brought in before Cinema before when we brought in Cinema 4D, kind of cleaning it, and then we're giving it all our groups. So Probably makes no sense, but just do it, right? And so I'm going to right click on this now and go to save geometry. And now I'm going to choose my location. So I'm put it in here. So I'm going to name this metro seat UV, right? Just to, know what I'm doing. And instead of having to say BGEO, which is a Houdini format, I'm going to name it, well, I could just actually just type in FBX behind it. So dot FBX, right? I'm going to click on accept. And then accept. So we see this window right here, Metro CUV. You see where it's going in my folder, ABCD folder. And then there. Cool, right? So I'm going to stop this now.